Hello, all my beautiful viewers out there. Takashi here, and I'm back with my sixth installment of Lucid9. Well, let's get started. Alright, so this guy's an old man, so let's see, for him we'll go with... You know, back in my day, when dinosaurs roamed the earth... This extracts a laugh from the crowd. We always ditched Korean Day. We'd pop over to GFC, you should have seen it, before it was renovated and stuff. Ourselves on wings. Okay, well, we say with where I'm from, but you know, that's what this guy says. They were only double S's at the time. Shows you how far we've come as a society, eh? The crowd chuckles again. Among them, I catch the distinct tint of Elizabeth's giggle. As usual, she's eagerly jotting notes on her phone, hanging on to the mayor's every word. The brunette girl, who's always around Elizabeth, is also next to her, surprisingly. She seems equally engrossed in the speech. And yes, I hated Korea Day. Thought it was a waste of time. Thought that they were restraining me at a time when all I wanted to do was explore myself. Who I was, who I wanted to be. But later I realized that I was thinking about Korea Day in the completely wrong way. It wasn't about deciding my future. It was about exploring possibilities. He allows a moment of thoughtful silence before he continues. The truth is, you'll probably change careers multiple times in your life. In fact, the average number of job changes is estimated to be 15 times. You could be in med school and all your life, but have experience in construction, woodworking, design, architecture, statistics, engineering, maybe even ostrich babysitting. Alright, or bicycle fishing. What is bicycle fishing? If anyone knows, please tell me in the comment section below, because that just sounds bizarre. I don't know about bicycle fishing. Elizabeth smiles into her hand as the students laugh like a perfectly timed track. But as vast as the future is, you know what you don't want to do. You don't want to be hurt. You don't want to go each day full of insecurities, doubts, fears. You don't want to be lied to, or backstabbed, or treated like a fake. I won't lie to you. It's a nasty world out there. But I think that we can all agree that, regardless of who we are, or where we're from, we each have an important part to play in the safety of this country. So, go on, explore! You guys are bright. And hey, you guys are in a better spot than I was. I thought that I'd like nothing more than to become an anthropologist. Not that even I knew what that meant at the time. It just sounded cool. His parting sentence elicits another laugh, and he steps off the stage, offering a final wave. The students erupt into cheers in response. I quickly shuffle away from the crowd. Before the noise overwhelms me, I don't want to like this guy. Heck, I don't want to like any sorry guys, I don't want to like any politician, but he seems to be less evil than the others I've seen. You know, that could be for display, but hey, I like what he's saying. Good shit. Furthermore, he made a good speech. He came across intelligent but genuine. Two major opposites of politics. Maybe I'll vote for him in his re-election. Maybe. Hello, stranger. Oh? Hey, Miki. Oh, shit. She's back. Oh, well. I abruptly stop in my tracks, finally taking in what she's wearing. Well, you're dressed up. Which is putting it lightly. She's draped in a silken kimono that ripples around her figure like water. Hair inset with a minimalistic ribbon and crystal pen. She could own the red carpet or throne even with that outfit. Oh, come on, dude. You're making it so obvious that you like her. Game designers, don't do this to us. Don't force us down a road. I've seen this happen before where they try to force you down a route. Don't do that. I don't want any part of this girl. No part. No part whatsoever. Stop it, game. Stop it. Pretty, my mind supplies unhelpfully. I quickly grind that part of my mind to dust. That's all you have to say? Well, what were you expecting? Poetry? Oh, dearest, you liken yourself to starlight, with eyes like the moon and a mouth like the purest golden flame the sun e'er did see. She promptly slaps me on the back. Very funny, Shakespeare II. Although I am impressed, your reaction was pretty decent. I feel like she's insulting me, but she's genuinely seems shocked. So, what brings you here? Do you want to become a model? A what? Oh, no need to be embarrassed. Male models are hardly anything new. However, they do tend to be physically fit. Do you happen to have a six-pack? I'll pretend I heard none of that. What makes you think I would ever want to be a model? You're standing by my company's booth. We are a modeling company. Surprised, I cast a quick glance behind her. Sure enough, a large banner reads Lotus Modeling. Above a tent with striking photo spreads. Come on, how long do we have to talk to this girl for? Please, please. Hence the kimono, I assume. You assume correctly. So, where's Rui? I haven't seen her all day. 'Cause she hates you, like she should, bitch. Get the fuck out of here. That awkward moment when... really? That's funny. She attends this school, right? What? Of course she does. So you've seen her today? Well, yeah. You didn't tell her about me? Hello, social drama. I missed you. Not. How can I word this delicately? Oh, so you're gonna word it delicately with her, but not with Rui. Great. What a bitch. Or better yet, avoid it completely. You should probably be getting back to your job. I have my eye on you, Yama. Do you really think that I can't tell when you're lying? I believe in my ability to run away. Always the same, I see. I've made a mental note to harass you about it later. Until then, Yama. Thank you for leaving. Bye-bye. She floats back to her booth. Although I'm kind of mad. He's burned pretty much everyone else in the entire game so far, but he hasn't burned her yet. Even though she deserves it. Okay, I may seem like I'm overreacting to you guys, but trust me, there are reasons. There are reasons. I just don't like her type. Greeting. Any curious glances with an effortless smile. Oh, great. A model. Her job is modeling. I still think she's a murderer. Don't get me wrong. She may be a model. That may be her job, but she's still a murderer. Just wait and watch. I bet. She's too suspicious. Far too suspicious. Somehow, I find that a little underwhelming. I almost expected her to be involved in something drastic. Like the Secret Service, or the film industry, or even the Olympics. So wait. If this... See, if she's not a murderer, or something else, and she's just a model, that means she just chose not to message her friends, and just completely abandon them. And then she walks back into the life, just expecting everything to go naturally. Even though they were obviously still wanting to be friends afterwards, she didn't care. Now, I'm not saying that's necessarily wrong, per se, but you can't just expect them to want to be your friends again. This guy's just like a puppy. He's like one of those puppies that probably is desperate for friendship, that's why he's still going to her. But, you know, that's just how some guys are. But modeling, where you pose and change and smile for hours and hours? Adventurous, stubborn Miki? It doesn't seem to fit her. Whatever. I guess it's none of my business anyway. It's time to see Mr. Ryota. Thank God we're finally seeing a character I actually like, for once. This time he opens the door as soon as I knock. I must have caught him at a good time. Welcome, Mishimoto. We've been expecting you. He cackles maniacally and taps his fingertips together. You should have turned in your chair while stroking a cat. Bah, everyone's a critic. Would you have rather been left standing outside in the cold? Outside, I'd be in the hallway. You seem awfully eager to prove your mental wrong, boy. Well, whether I prove it or not, it's still wrong, right? Yes. But that would never fly in a court of law, you see. Imagine it. I declare the defendant guilty. Because, from a metaphysical standpoint, it is true. Even if we have no... give me a second. Epistemological, okay, link of knowing so. Yeah, guys, fuck words like that. I just lost you. Now I get that a lot. Go ahead and take a seat. We've got more important things to discuss, no? Hesitantly, I slide into the nearest couch. Fuck. I've always seen Mr. Rota as an intelligent man, even if laid back, but I never actually, not understood him. I wonder how much brain mass he's hiding behind that cherry facade. So, the new transfer student, Misaki Kazehaya. I hope you don't mind, I did a little lookup on her. You can do that? Well, there's no explicit rule saying I can't use the confidential database. I'm pretty sure that there is. Nope, I may be faculty, but I'm not a teacher. It's only stated that teachers have to request special permission. I checked the loopholes. Something feels wrong about this. What did you find out? Well, if I tell you, then there's a solid breach of confidentiality. I don't want to go to jail yet. The food's too good here. Mr. Ryota, I really worry about you sometimes. No, kid. I don't worry about this guy at all. This guy's a genius. In fact, he should be a comedian. I wish this guy was at my school. Yes, he's a good guy. He's a good man. He's a good man. And this is me talking. Yeah, I think everyone's worried about your health, kid. So instead, I'd like to hear your thoughts on the matter, Yama. How did you two meet? And you mentioned that she left. Yeah. Now, so we're finally getting some explanation up in here. Alright. I close my eyes, letting the ever-constant hum of the air conditioner calm my nerves. Then I start talking. It's practically subconscious. My mouth dutifully repeats the train of thought running through my mind. Everything is calm, clear, slow. Therapy, something that I've gotten used to over the years. So I easily turn my brain to the topic of interest. Misaki Kazehaya. I had met her when I was young. Not too young, a baby still forming through thought patterns and ideas about the world, but young enough to be highly impressionable. It had been on a day when I thought nothing could make me smile. Not the vibrant lanterns strewn between the roofs, the multicolored booths, not the festive rhythm of the taiko drummers urging on the parade of light-bearing dancers, not the stands in which a variety of nutritional questionable foods were being served. Not even Rui, who dragged me out of the house despite my best efforts to stay miserable. It was only around an hour into the festival, but I was ready to go. When Rui went to the bathroom, I seriously considered ditching her and going back to my room. Seriously, dude, should I hate your childhood self too? Do I need to? Do I just need to permanently hate you? You are a terrible person. Well, back then, I guess it's alright. It makes sense. But still, I don't like you, kid. Apparently, I was scowling deeply at that. I didn't know it until a passing girl suddenly stopped in front of me. Annoying girl. Thank you for saying what she is, because I'm pretty sure this is who I think it is. Does your face always look like that? To say the least, that didn't help my foul mood. I glared up at her. She was pretty. Well, that was the first thought in my head. That instinctive spark of appreciation whenever a guy sees a pretty girl, no matter how much he wants to feel otherwise. Her hair was braided back into an elegant half updo, light ebony curls framing her porcelain face, big ears, long lashes, pointed chin, the kind of traditional beauty you might see in a kimono commercial. Wait, oh, okay, big eyes, not big ears. Okay, I was thinking there for a second. Big ears. That's not typically what I think of as attractive. Okay, that makes a little more sense. Although I'm not personally too attracted to big eyes, but okay. Of course, the first spark of it makes more sense than big ears, I guess. Like like a Dumbo from the story about the elephant. Of course, the first spark of interest was immediately fuck. It was immediately overridden by indigenous that indigenous that only an 8-year-old boy could feel. What are you looking at? Don't be so grumpy. You should be celebrating. She didn't know anything, of course, not until a few months later. Festivals are stupid. They are not. Why? There isn't even any reason to celebrate. The girl's face twisted into something resembling anger. It looked strange on her face, like a guinea pig attempting to seem menacing. You don't even know what the festival's about, do you? Well, of course I didn't, but I wasn't going to admit that. Of course I do. Oh yeah? What's it about? Well, you make lanterns. Uh-huh, and? I fisted my hands at her condescending tone. You write wishes on them and stuff. Wrong. Am not. Yeah, you are. You don't write wishes. You write what you want to tell dead people. Ridiculous. I should have said. Why would I even want to talk to dead people? But I didn't mock it. I couldn't mock it. Dead people? Yep. I can write a message to my auntie. My aunt... on this lantern, and she'd see it. How do you know that? Haven't you heard the story? No, I haven't. It says hadn't, but I like the sound of haven't better. But my... oh, hadn't. Okay. Yeah, okay, so he's talking about the... okay, never mind, it is hadn't. Okay, I was thinking he was saying it in the current time, but then I realized that this was actually this is him talking now. This is him thinking now. But my 8-year-old pride prevented me from saying that, of course. Thankfully, the girl took my silence as confusion. Well, once upon a time, there was a princess. Was she pretty? Yeah. Good. Good at singing? Yeah. Boring. It is not boring. The indignant anger on her face made me snicker. The first time I'd smiled all day. Yeah? Well, what happens? Does she get in trouble that the charming prince has to save her? Just listen. Look, she's actually a big meanie. A mean princess. That wasn't a fairy tale staple. Oh? Yep, but her bodyguard was in love with her, and turned her good again. I felt disappointed. The story had a promising start. It's promising that... okay, whatever. See, I never got it when people say just because a story isn't by, like, the norm, it is, like, that makes it a good story. It's like, no. There are plenty of stories that go off the norm that aren't good stories. In fact, it's the norm because it's typically good. People like the norm because, well, whatever. I mean, I like originality, don't get me wrong, but certain types of originality, they're just not good. Being original is a risk. It's a gamble. It's a gamble that can pay off big, or it can blow up in your face. Either way, watch yourselves. Blah. Did he do a... what did he do? Cast a spell? Give a true love's kiss? He died. Oh? Don't look so happy. That time, I broke into a tiny laugh. But it made her good again, right? Well, yeah. She didn't trust anyone before. Thought they were all fake and stuff. It seemed that she was glancing at me at that point of the story. But before I could open my mouth, she was already continuing. Anyway, the bodyguard sacrificed himself to save her. Yep, I predicted that. So the heavens were super duper impressed and put him in the stars. Oh, wow. Put him in the stars. Great. Now it's a fairy tale. Aren't stars really, really hot? That sounds like a bad thing. Childish indignation flickered across her face. They made him into a constellation, you poop. Bleh. Bleh times infinity. Bleh times infinity plus. Anyway, the princess realized how beautiful love really is. Because he died. She saw how much he loved her. So she decided to be a better person and trust people again. This had nothing to do with writing messages to the dead on lanterns. I was rapidly losing interest. Well, I'm guessing she's gonna write messages to that bodyguard, right? Let me guess, she lived happily ever after. Well, no, the bodyguard died, remember? I like this bodyguard. She glared at me, but somehow it felt less severe than before. She wrote her promise on a lantern, sent it up in the sky, so he could see. 'Cause he was a constellation, remember? Now I realize that I could have said a lot of things. That's stupid. He's dead. What could he do about it? But that wasn't on my mind at the time. Everyone turns into a bunch of stars when they die. I think. Sure. Out of all the possibilities, I highly doubt that one. You think, or you know. If they did something to super duper impress the heavens, I guess. I smiled at that. My eyes scorned the street and landed on a simple booth. A handful of other kids were gathered around a short, portable table, scrolling on lanterns with calligraphy pens clamped in fisted hands. Let's go. But I already made a lantern. Write to another dead person, then. With the overwhelming display of tact and political correctness, I raced towards the table, snatched a lantern from a smiling adult, and plopped down with my pen at the ready. If you guys seen any of my other videos with my group channels, you would know that political correctness is not my thing. Actually, you can probably tell from this video by how much I'm bashing people that get depressed. Which, by the way, if you're actually like clinically depressed, I wish you the best of luck. But if you're like one of those people that just like acts depressed, I'm sorry, but I'm just gonna have to say this: get over it, plus. There are people out there who can help you, and they're not therapists; they're your friends. I mean, I'm sure that therapists can help some people, but I'm telling you, actual people that know you are the best way to help you. Believe me. Who are you writing to? None of your beeswax. I began to scroll characters on my fucking house. What? No, stop. Stop me. Stop me from clicking random things, me. The girl hovered over my shoulder, squinting judiciously at my jagged brushstrokes. Why is your handwriting so messy? It's not messy. I can't even read it. I whipped around, narrowing my eyes accusingly at her own lantern. Well, yours? I searched for a fault, but not only was her lantern graced with perfect calligraphy, it also proudly bore a few elegant cherry blossoms. Well, yours looks girly. She raised a single eyebrow. It was remarkably sophisticated expression for a 9-year-old girl to make. I am a girl. And there was nothing much to say to that. Yama, where have you been? I can't believe he abandoned Rui for this bitch, even back then. Oh. It was as if Rui had materialized out of thin air. I hadn't even noticed the rapid pitter-patter of her footsteps, but yeah, I can definitely tell from this that he's definitely in love with that girl. It's a pain, but that seems to be the case. Sorry, Rui. Jeez, could told me. You were in the bathroom. Clearly displeased, Rui turned her back to on me, but smiled at the other girl. Thanks for taking care of him. Surprisingly, the girl smiled back, easy. As you please. What? Easy as you... Oh, okay. Never heard that saying before. Well, weren't they getting along just fine? Why did they have to give me such a hard time? Maybe it was a girl thing. I'm Rui. I'm Misaki. You gonna make a lantern? Yep. How'd you make those flowers? They're real pretty. I can show you. And just like that, the two of them were friends. It took a little longer to warm me up. But whatever the two of them set their minds to, they accomplished. They had always been that way, so fiery, so capable, so lovely. Two playful angels who, for some reason, unfathomable to mankind, saw fit to hang around a bucket of depressing sludge like me. Why do you think that about yourself? Yeah, if you didn't think that about yourself, you'd probably actually be a better person in general. Because actually, trust me guys, when you stop looking down on yourself, you become better. I mean, that may seem like a weird thing to say, but actually your outlook on yourself can actually affect who you are as a person quite a bit. Trust me. Mr. Rocha's voice seems to come from far in the distance. Faint, but recognizable. I respond, distractedly. You know me. I'm not useful, or popular, or particularly intelligent. Silence follows the statement, so I only continue. Our families were close. Misaki's father would always throw these get-togethers at their house, over the weekends, or during special occasions. You know, judging by what they said earlier, I'm guessing her father dies at some point because they said her mother dragged her off. Either that or they got divorced. Which seems likely with her. I mean, I'm guessing her mother isn't that much better either. You know what I mean? That dad might have wanted to get away. I remember him being really overwhelming at first. He was a lot like Misaki, only bigger and louder. Oh dear. No, the father sounds scary then. I rarely saw Misaki's mother. The times I did see her, she was pretty distant. Besides that, I really don't remember much about her. At first, we were inseparable, Misaki and us. But then her father had lost his job, and we started seeing less of her. And eventually they just left, no warning whatsoever. Even our parents tried to get in contact, no luck. It had been as if the Kazehayas had disappeared off the face of the planet. That must have been really hard. That must have been a really hard blow. Rui says that it had been. Honestly, I don't remember much of what followed at all. It all passed in a haze. Essentially, I felt abandoned. I had this idea that everyone close to me would leave. I didn't think I could even cry. I only felt empty inside. Wow. Wow, kid. Pretty edgy. But Rui says that it really was a terrible time. I think I'm supposed to feel bad for him here, but I'm sorry. I just can't. I can't. I just feel like, I mean, I get that, I mean, well, let's see, he's 4 years, so that means he's probably about 14? Yeah, 14, I think you should be able to handle something like that. Additionally, I mean, come on, dude, come on. From what I heard, there's not much to like about her even back then. I mean, she was alright, but it's like, I'm just speaking from my personal preference, of course there's a bias. She says that I didn't eat, didn't sleep, didn't even play any games with her. She says that I looked like a ghost, heck, practically became one. And I don't remember it, but she says that one day... What? Yama, what's wrong? No, sorry, that's it. Sob story over. Are you sure? You do realize that the entire point of therapy is to share your sob stories. It's not a burden, Yama. I'm glad to help you out. I feel tired. I think I'll have to stop here. It's mainly an excuse, and a very effective one for the therapists. Mr. Ryota immediately nods in understanding. Thanks for confiding in me. Just know that what you felt was completely valid. I'm sorry you had that trauma. It's fine. I got over it. I'd like to go now, if that's okay. But yeah, I understand what this guy's saying. I mean, I may not necessarily agree that it's valid, but I would probably say something like, it's understandable. Because, I guess it is valid to feel that way, I mean, like, it's like, at that young of an age. It's just that I feel that just this person, he already has a person that's close to him, you know what I mean? But I guess it is his first love. I mean, that's what I'm guessing. I mean, they didn't really give us much reason for him to fall in love with her. But, I mean, maybe. If you're sure, is there anything I can do for you? I'm okay. Sure, you don't want a lollipop? Yeah, I'm pretty sure, but thanks. Have a good day, Yama. But at least take this prescription. Prescription? Seriously. Then I actually look at it. 1 bucket of ice cream to be eaten guilt-free. This guy. I love this guy. Oh. As far as the administration knows, this is totally a legit treatment. Ice cream is one of the core groups of food in the food pyramid, you know. He actually pulls a genuine laugh at me. Out of me. Thanks, Mr. Rota. And thanks for listening. Anytime. I exit Mr. Rota's office in a considerably better mood than when I entered it. Of course, talking to Mr. Rota, I think that would cheer anyone up. I mean, he seems like a really good guy. I actually don't feel tired. I feel rejuvenated. Seems like those memories have been weighing on me for a long time. Maybe therapy really will be beneficial. Deciding to take his prescription to heart, I head straight to the downtown shopping area. With my mind cleared, I get to pay a little more attention to the weather. Beautiful cloudless skies, the slightest hint of a cool breeze. You! A girl careens from around the corner and nearly crashes right into me. Her glasses flash dangerously as she tips her newsboy cap over her forehead, studying me with an intensity that could rival an electric microscope. By the way, guys, I did look at the... I actually didn't look at the game really at all before I started playing it, but I did, like, in between this episode and the one before it. So, I'm thinking this is where the mystery part starts to come up, because apparently this is supposed to be a mystery game, even though it is, in the first 5 episodes, except for that very first scene, we had absolutely no clue of that whatsoever. But this is where it happens. And if someone's gonna get murdered first, I'm not gonna say it, never mind. You guys know who I'm saying. Me? It's all I can manage to say at the eccentric site. Yes, you, an idealistic, unlettered civilian, perfect. A hint of a satisfied smile tugs at her lips. Great. She seems like a real fun person to be around. What must be the 100th time today, I feel a keen sense of impending doom. Respond to my questions with either yes or no. How about get the fuck out of my face and let me walk to my house, bitch? Damn. Do not deviate. Do not invent. And for the sake of both our sanities, do not dawdle. Dawdle. Fuck. Words. Why am I tripping over words so much today? First, am I correct in assuming that you are an academy student? You must have the wrong person. I've never seen you before. How can you judge the purpose behind this encounter without knowing the criteria I have set in my approach? How about you introduce yourself first before asking me questions? I am not mistaken, you are my target. It doesn't take a genius to sense that this girl means trouble. I decide to conveniently ignore her and step around her. Good job, kid. She only steps with me, blocking my path again. Just run, kid. Run. Oh great, I can sense where this is going. But then again, this guy has caved in every single time. Actually, looking back at it, this guy's will is non-existent. He, like, pretty much gives up on everything. Except on kicking Rui out. That was the one thing he didn't give up on. But even then, he didn't go all the way. Wow. Man. They really wanted to make a weak main character. Well, okay. Oh great, I can sense where this is going. As I... Okay. Envisaged. Subject demonstrates a remarkable inability to utilize basic cognitive functions. Talk about uncalled for. Abusive words, overly complicated language. She clearly has a few screws loose. Most definitely, I agree with you on that one, my friend. Maybe I should call the hospital, see if they have a runaway mental patient. Very true. Very good burn right there, my friend. Very good. But she's not wearing hospital clothes. Look, kid. I don't know what your problem is, but... Kid? The pleasantly cool air suddenly develops a rather harsh chill. She must be in one of those phases. Just another 14-year-old expecting to be treated with the dignity of a grandmother. She looks like a chunibyo from what I can tell, the way she's talking. If you don't know what chunibyo is, it's like in Japan, it's called like 8th grade syndrome, I think, or 9th grade syndrome, I think. 8th grade? I think it's 8th grade. And essentially, it's these kids that believe they're they're like a dark flame master, or Hyoin Kyoma, or something like that. And they laugh like that. Anyhow, let's continue. Oh, but yet a 14-year-old who apparently memorized the dictionary. Well, whatever you are, generally speaking, it's pretty rude to just run up to some random stranger and insult them. Truly, your idiocy has risen to a level beyond which I had previously surmised. No, you're the one with idiocy. You have no social decency whatsoever. Jesus. She immediately digs into her pocket and flashes something in front of my face. Shigure Inomoto, freelance detective. See, if you're a freelance detective, that means I have nothing to do. You have no right to detain me. I can move on with my way the way I want to. Legally certified to inspect crime scenes, obtain she's still talking. Legally certified to inspect crime scenes, obtain private files, and if necessary interrogate unduly inquisitive citizens with the observational finesse of a blind bat. And you shall note that I am 26 years of age. Yeah, okay. And I'm also pretty sure that you're a bitch. Wait. What? You're 26. Unless you presume to imply that you are deaf as well as dumb, I suggest. But you're so short. I frankly feel ice crystals forming in the air. Well, I should strongly prefer to be short of stature. Okay. You know what she says the rest of it. Ouch, not a bad blow. But wait. If you're a freelance detective, does that mean that this is an interrogation as I'm a suspect? If I have to go to the police station, do I get excused absences from class? Coma. I see no need to reverse your expectation that you will be taking the unexcused absences as they are. Consider it an inevitability similar to your clinical depression. That stops me. What? How could you possibly... I think anyone can tell just by talking to you for a slight bit of time that you're severely depressed, kid. What would you even make? What would even make her say something like that? The fact that you're not completely ignoring her and brushing her off completely, perhaps, as a lunatic. I mean, you did say she was a lunatic, but you didn't just move on your way, regardless of what she said. Which is probably what a normal person would have done after perhaps trying to see if they could help her a bit, because she does seem mentally unstable. You might as well carry a sign. Yeah, I agree. I do agree with that part. From your uniform, you are a student at the academy. Well, that's obvious. I mean, I was surprised they didn't realize how you knew that. I mean, he's kind of dumb, but then again, I didn't think he was that dumb. From the fact that you are wearing it, you attended school this morning. From your presence in town, rather than in class, you are, as I believe they call it, playing hooky. From the perspective slip, you are enrolled in the recently developed therapy method that the academy has been boasting. From your fairly normal physicality and social skills, your problem is most likely clinical depression, or something like high-functioning autism. She just called him autistic. Ah, man. Damn. Okay, I get it. You're a detective. And you're impressed, but pretending not to be. Nope, nope, not impressed. Just I'd just be annoyed. It is pretty impressive. The observations themselves might seem like common sense, but a person who can actually synthesize them is a rare find, which of course kind of makes her even more annoying. I think that the fact that she has no social skills whatsoever makes her annoying. But yes, sure, we'll go with that. I relax a little oddly, relieved that she hadn't actually secretly researched me. Now it's your turn. My turn? Of course! What can you see from my physical presentation? You know, almost at this point, I almost wish the main character would have been that murderer guy from the beginning, because like, the way he's going, it seems like we're running in circles. But hopefully, we're about to move out of those circles with the mystery. Alright, let's go. Let's go quicker now. I invite you to give your brain some much-needed exercise. That gets close to the firing me up. Close. Sorry, but I have my therapeutic instructions to follow. Unless you have any actual business with me, I'd appreciate if you let me alone. I step around her. This time she doesn't move. But just as I think I'm home free, I hear a soft whisper drifting from behind me. Do you not wish to play a bigger role in society than an inconsequential pawn in a game of life? Okay, seriously, who would take this girl seriously? Just move on. But then again, he does have a lot of problems. Okay, or will you restrict yourself to the confines of your abilities just because of her? I quietly stop. Turn around slowly. Tell me how you know about that, right now. I shall after you prove yourself mentally capable of comprehending the simplest of my explanations. Fine, she wants to play it that way, let her play it that way. Time to focus. I'll start with... Alright, let's go with the circumstances. Why here? Why now? Why me? These are all questions I need to address. The detectives approached me and bombarded me with questions, but I see no other policeman. Is she doing this just because she's bored? No. She was specifically looking for an academy student for some reason. I'm coming up short in this area. I'll have to think about this later. Well, her clothes say that she's not dressed as a detective, and that she's probably going undercover of some sort, I'm guessing, but let's go with her body language. She spreads her weight evenly both feet, unlike most girls, who let it lie more on one side of their hip than the other. Even weight on both feet almost sounds like a... Even weight on both feet. Formal posture? Yeah. But then again, that could also be a fighting posture. But then again, I think with a fighting posture, you lean straight. You're putting slightly more pressure on your upper foot, the one in the front. And then you shift it and when you're moving to go for a punch or whatever. So I'm going to go for a formal posture. Should be used to formal settings, but that doesn't seem to match very well. The rest of her body language isn't so proper. She seems to hunch slightly with her shoulders loose. No, it's more likely that she's in a fighting stance. But that, see, like I said, that doesn't make sense because it's not how a fighting stance works. You want to be evenly, completely. Additionally, I mean, like I said, she doesn't look like she's formal or in a fighting stance completely, but I don't get it. She seems relaxed, but with the bright-eyed look of someone expecting danger around every corner. The kind of weight distribution doesn't seem to come naturally. Maybe she was in sports or some kind of self-defense at one point, for a while, from the looks of it. I'd like to guess martial arts, but I can't say for sure. There are too many possibilities. Okay then, maybe I should think about this a different way. Her movements are very crisp and close to the body. When she's speaking, she doesn't gesture very much, even when yelling. Generally speaking, sports enthusiasm, emoting on a huge scale, roaring in victory, bawling in defeat, the works. Not only that, but limbs are trained more for gross motor skills than fine motor skills. On the contrary, Shigure has very tight control over her hands, almost to the point where she seems stiff, which likely points to something high control like ballet or archery, or a subtle martial art like Wing Chun. Well, that still doesn't narrow narrow things down too much. Time to move on. I've noticed that when Shigure moves, she primarily tends to use her. Wait, yeah, she did. I've been kind of just... See, I've been focusing on the test, so I haven't really been looking at it that much. But judging by the fact that her right hand is on her hip, and that her left hand is down, I'm guessing it'd be her left hand. She doesn't primarily use her left hand for gesturing, at least. I think I'm on the wrong track. Rather than general stagnant, while her right hand often takes the most action adjusting her glasses, tapping against her hip. Probably safe to assume that she's right-handed. But... wait, what? Okay. So she's used to be involved in high control from physical exercise. And she's right-handed and all the... okay, whatever. Well, like a kid, and she wears glasses instead of contacts, just calling more attention to her pathetic stature. But seriously, I don't know if they mixed it up or something, because if you look at her right hand is placed like on her hip, it's just sitting there. But her left hand is falling to her side, which means that it would be... I wonder if they actually messed it up and are thinking that like we're looking at it the other way, but I mean clearly her left arm is more like it's like left inside and the right arm is up on the hip. I don't know what they're trying to get at, but I think they might be reading it wrong. Or maybe they just put the image wrong, I'm not sure. Wait a minute. When I put it that way, it almost sounds like she wants to be underestimated. I would like to say she has a mental disability though, but I had to say she pretends to be indignant about being mistaken for a kid. It looks like that's her intent. Even though she's a freelance detective, she doesn't wear her badge anywhere or carry a gun or anything else, really. She probably believes that being underestimated is a valuable skill. I can't say I personally agree, but hey, she's the 26-year-old freelance detective, not me. Her clothes. Unlike the standard professional wear I might expect of a law enforcement agent, she dresses comfortably, probably can do that because she's a freelance detective. They also haven't been ironed in a while, which means either she doesn't care or she's a workaholic, possibly a combination of both. Her shirt proclaims king, conscious or unconscious association to her egotism. Can't tell much, but I find it strange that she'd dress so casually and expect people to take her seriously. With her height and her clothes, is it any wonder that she's often mistaken for a kid? So like you said earlier, she's probably just doing it on purpose. And one more thing bothers me. She wears comfortable looking clothes, which I previously assumed were for efficiency. After all, chasing down criminals in high heels is a stupid idea. Also, there's one other thing I want to question. What normal person would actually give this much thought to this? I mean, if I ran across a random girl, I'd probably just be like, this is not worth my time. Of course, I mean, I guess I would start to question it when she's getting this involved. But still, it's like, this is a little bit overkill. And yet something stands out. And also, if he's standing here thinking about all this, is that gonna like... well, whatever. Alright, so let's go for the hat and jeans. Hat and jeans are a pain to run with. Because unless you keep one hand on them at all times, they're likely to flop around, fall off, or just generally be obnoxious. And the jeans are too tight to opt for flexibility. Running in those would either be very uncomfortable or very embarrassing, which implies that she just dresses how she wants to. Definitely a very headstrong individual. If she doesn't choose casual clothes for comfort, knowing that it can interfere with her job, then is she purposely choosing it to aggravate others, to announce her individualism? It would match with her choosing to be a freelance detective instead of a corporate investigator. Free-spirited, rebellious, and, as I suspected, from now from how she's shamelessly pulling me aside for no reason, guided more by her heart than her head, despite her intellect. Not bad. Next, I should think about. I take a step back to look at the full picture. No, this isn't it. Not quite. It's good information, but it's basic. Nothing stands out. I can't actually use any of this. Time to think a little deeper. Is there anything that can help me? Anything at all? Something I've missed? Inamoto speaking, yes? If you cannot resolve such a appallingly simple task by your own means, I shall consider your intellect no different from that of a headless chicken's. Good day. Now, you may want to hasten your efforts before the ground upon which we stand becomes our gravestones. Yeah, I'm on it. I say this distractedly, primarily because I noticed she has a flip phone. Ancient technology, but by today's standards, buttons, 2-inch screen, primitive camera, the works. Not just that, but it's terrible-looking flip phone. The kind of decor that you'd see on a prepubescent phone. On a yeah. Rhinestones, heart stickers, even the random scroll from a Sharpie that was too faded into the metal for me to read. It's completely unlike her. Which means that it's a wealth of information. While on call, she graciously turned the phone in my direction, allowing me to catch a glance of her wallpaper. Shock. It was a picture, at least a few years old, of a guy hugging her. Double shock. She was proudly showing off a ring. Not a cheap, cutesy, colored ring, like the couple bands of a new relationship, and the second week, a legitimate diamond ring. An engagement ring. But she's not wearing the ring anymore. Even looking at her hands at this moment, I can't even tell that she'd ever worn one. Which means that she once had a fiancé, and he broke up with her, and he did it. Well, since you can't tell that she's wearing it, it must have been a long time ago. Ah, of course. If the engagement hadn't ended recently, I'd see a tan around her finger, or maybe an incident. Instead, there's nothing. Which means that the fiancé called off the engagement a while ago. She obviously didn't call it off, not if she's keeping that picture on her phone. In fact, maybe they broke it off amicably. If she hasn't deleted it yet, either that or she's a stalker. Alright, that's much more like it. I think I'm ready. I square my shoulders and look her in the eye. Sorry about the wedding. Hello? What wedding? Is she serious? How can I possibly word this delicately? Yours. The one your fiancé called off a few years ago? Did he? Didn't he? Unless she does have a wedding ring, and she just doesn't wear it. Is it in your pocket or something? You might seek to articulate yourself better. Is what in my pocket? Your wedding ring. I mean, that... No, he doesn't need to articulate himself better. I mean, it's pretty obvious from the speech. Why would I have a wedding ring in my pocket? If your fiancé didn't call off the wedding, then... Wait. No. There's one more possibility. And since she's in law enforcement, it wouldn't be unlikely. I immediately shut up as the realization dawns on me. I see you have realized. Yes, he never cut off the wedding. Because he died. I suddenly feel very, very callous. I'm sorry. Silence. Say nothing that you do not mean. Unless you are manipulating others to extract information, as that is an occupational hazard. Right. Even as she continues on, I mentally hit myself for my error. I shall admit, civilian, that you had done adequately. Train your senses consistently, and you might become moderately useful in the future. Thanks, really, I'm overwhelmed. But I ask of you this. What is the meaning when a freelance detective approaches a student and asks a string of seemingly unrelated questions of him? Alright, so, let's see. This one could definitely be it. I mean, she could suspect him. She could be testing him, but, I mean, that'd be very odd. You know what I mean? But, I mean, for the situation, that's definitely possible. And this one is obviously the bullshit choice. Alright, so. I mean, we could just pull the joke and go with this one. Or we can go with one of these two, which I'm thinking it's possibly this one, but then again, what would she be testing for? Unless she means she's testing him to see if he could be guilty. Because, I mean, there's no reason to test him to see if he could be useful, because that, I mean, why would you just assume that a random student? So, she could suspect him of the crime, or she is testing him. I'm gonna go with she's testing him. Oh, that's not what I was meant by testing. No. Fuck. Dude, that's not what I meant. Yeah, of course, because your answer was stupid. That's not at all what I was thinking. What is your name? Sorry. Your name. This has nothing to do with the case, but if I protest, she'll probably smack me with more verbal abuse. Yame Shimoto. What is she thinking of? Her decision is preferable to her silence. I postulate that you possess a anonymity of free time. What is your assessment regarding a cogent mature? Whoever uses those kinds of words. Exactly? Exactly? I mean, come on. Speak English, please. Are you asking me to be your assistant? Servant, not assistant. I refuse. Putting me and job in the same sentence is never a good idea. I barely have enough diligence to hand out stuff in class when I'm called by the teacher. How much worse would my punishment be if I worked with a woman this crazy? Not detention, I'd assume. And yet, examining pieces of a puzzle, putting them together, framing the whole story, it was fun. Logic, ingenuity, resourcefulness. I want to turn her down, though, because fuck being called a servant. Fuck that shit. Come on, man. We got our pride. Have your price of man. And almost nothing is fun to me. Which makes it doubly interesting. Doubly interesting. Sure, why not? Of course he would say that. Good. I will require your contact information, then be off. I take a moment to process this, that's it. Wait. How did you know? Know what? You told me earlier about her. A tense moment ticks by as Shigure stares evenly at me. Pure conjecture. You can't be serious. You do not appear to notice that my wording was intentionally vague. What? But you said... Do you not wish to play a bigger role in society than an inconsequential pawn in the game of life? Or will you restrict yourself to the confines of your own abilities just because of her? Oh, classic bait for confirmation bias. Appeal to a person's general desire for significance. Allude to just one person for some added reassurance. But the one part that was taking a gamble was saying her. Because, I mean, yes, you can judge by his personality that he could be very affected by a girl, and judging by his depression at his age, that's also quite possible. However, like she said, it's conjecture because that is a game. That part was a gamble. The rest, for him, very obvious. That part, a slight gamble. All she would have to guess is the gender. 50% chance of striking a chord in her victim. Well, I guess he thought the same thing I was. She probably guessed a girl from my personality. Yep, just like I presumed earlier. I'm not exactly the type to easily befriend guys. A bait. Just a bait. I see you understand. She pushes the phone into my motionless hand. I have registered my cellular number. Tomorrow, you will receive a text regarding your next assignment. Keep your evenings free. How much do I get paid for this? How much do I get paid? With that, she simply tips her hat, whirls around, and strides off. A bait. Was it really just a bait? Or is that also a bait? A lie to make me feel better. Even though she actually knows. But yeah, judging by the way this game is going, I'm guessing it actually has to do a lot less with your relationship with your friends and more so with the mystery, because you saw how many choices I got just there, right? So I'm guessing, judging by that, the other characters, I mean, they probably have something to do with the mystery later on, but this game is not centered around that. Too many mind games. Clearly I'm not cut out for this. Wait, what did I just accept? Was she serious? Am I actually her errand boy? It's you, dude. You have absolutely no will of your own. Of course you'd go for it. What did I just get myself into? Being a bitch boy. What else? Did you seriously follow me home? Huh? Why would I do that? We already know where you live, man. Oh hey, I know those voices. Alright, so at this moment I'm gonna end this episode. I hope you didn't mind my ranting too much. And we'll see you next time, you beautiful people. As always, have a great day, and I'll see you next time.